Hey, it's Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid, and I have issue number 31 of Transformers. Looks like Ratbat made it to Earth, and we have the return of Buster Witwicky. Yes, the Witwickies are back in this issue. Okay, so actually it starts out, the title is Buster Witwicky and the Car Wash of Doom. So it's all about him. As we can see at the beginning of this issue, we've got Thrust and Ramjet. They are with Vortex and Laserbeak and the Decepticons, and they're attacking. Looks like they're attacking some sailors here. I like that the issue actually keeps with the continuity that Dirge was destroyed during the G.I. Joe and the Transformers, and also that Starscream and Soundwave and Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp aren't back yet. They're still in the arc, and so we've got these other guys, the second stringers there. What they've attacked is a Blackrock oil tanker. They pop a cerebro shell in this dude, and he tells them where the controls are. The Decepticons go down and take control of the tanker, and they bring it to the Decepticon island, which, as we find out, is a mobile island. Yeah, somehow it is a mobile headquarters of the Decepticons. They were able to make the island movable. So that's interesting. On the island, we have Ratbat. Ratbat has come across the space bridge, presumably in the past. I guess this is like a month after the events that took place in the last issue. So it's a month later, and Ratbat is now on Earth, and he is telling Shockwave how inefficient they are because of the way that they're expending all of the fuel. So he came to this planet. He says, "I recently came to this planet to find out about their the fuel consumption that the Decepticons are doing." And he takes a big old chomp into the pipeline to taste what they have secured. And what he finds out is that it's completely empty. It's empty. He's not happy about that. And so he, dresses down Shockwave, and he tells him that he is using humans to gather energy, to gather fuel and such. And that Shockwave said that we don't use humans because they're too unpredictable, but Ratbat is using humans to take care of things. And we then cut over to Portland, Oregon, where we see business is booming at Sparkplug Witwicky's garage, and Buster's not too happy about that because he's constantly working at the garage. He'd much rather do some other things. And look, they have a new thing called the wash and roll, and that's part of the garage. So, that got set up right there. And the place is booming. There's a long line of cars, and we see a news clipping saying that there is a fuel shortage in the Northwest. And we wonder why that is. So, we move on from there. And Buster, at the end of the day, Jessie, his girlfriend, comes by, or I guess he's his girlfriend. It doesn't seem. I don't know. They're trying to get together. We'll see. So she leaves. He talks about how he's really bored there, and his life is duller than a rusty fender. And she knows about what happened with the Transformers, so she's like, "Why would your life is pretty exciting?" But he said, but he promised himself he wouldn't get involved with them anymore because of his dad's health, because his dad had a heart attack in issue number 4. The Witwickies were part of the first 12 issues of Transformers, and then they've been away for quite a while. This is their first time back in that time. We cut over to GB Blackrock, who shows that Blackrock profits are booming, booming, booming. And why are they? Because of the new Blackrock wash and roll. And now they're going to roll out phase 2 of the wash and roll. He shows all of his investors all of this, and then when they leave, he kind of looks like he's got a blank mind. And he kind of does. So he walks back to his office. He takes out a little portable tape, and that tape turns into our boy Ratbat. Yeah, Ratbat is there with GB Blackrock. All of these wash and rolls he created based on that payload that came from the Decepticon freighter. It was a wash and roll, and they created a bunch more of them as soon as he started to mass produce them and put them out to all of his Blackrock gas stations. And so the wash and roll, as we'll see, Buster and Jesse go through the wash and roll, and we're going to learn something a little bit about that in a moment. So they go through the wash and roll, and Buster looks like he's having like the best time of his life. He is just, annoyed with all of it. So he obviously hasn't gone through the car wash at all in this time, and he and Jesse talk. And they go through there's all lights and there's heavy metal music, and he's like, I don't like heavy metal music. And they're talking and talking and talking, and finally she just decides, you know what, enough talking. She kisses him, they kiss back, and as they're kissing, he's got his eyes closed, and all these crazy lights are going on, but Jesse's eyes are flicker open, and she gets hypnotized. So they get out of the car wash, and she immediately tells him, I gotta go. And he said, she's acting really weird. And he said, too weird for her. He wants to know what's going on. So he follows Jesse in his truck, and they go to a Blackrock fuel plant. Okay, he's wondering why she's at a Blackrock fuel plant. But they go in there, and you see there's a line of cars, and they're all what it looks like they're all gassing up. But what they're actually doing is they're taking the gas out of their tanks and filling up the tanks at Blackrock, so that that's what Ratbat's doing. He's having everybody fuel up multiple times and then go bring their fuel to the Blackrock fuel depot so that the Decepticons can take all that fuel. Buster flashes his lights at Jessie, and that actually kind of knocks her out of her daze. And then Laserbeak comes out because Buster is not in line with all the other cars, and finally he just gets in line with all the other cars and fills up, and Laserbeak stops. So I guess Laserbeak was keeping everybody in line, like literally, I guess. So he gets in line and he takes out the fuel out of his tank, and Jessie gets in with him into his truck, and she saw what happened. Using the lights, he stopped her from being hypnotized, which would kind of be weird, because if you're driving down the road and all these lights are coming at you in the road, wouldn't anybody who's driving at night probably stop being hypnotized? I don't know, that's my thought on it. But Buster and Jessie are about to leave, but as they're leaving, Buster sees his father, and there you go. Mom, there we go. Sees his dad, and he turns right around, and he's gonna go help, help his dad. So we're at the wash and roll, factory, and Ratbat is basically telling everybody through GB Blackrock what occurred. Let's see. Saying the history of wash and roll began only recently. This is actually telling us. Astrotrain used a portable strobosonic opticon to put me under Decepticon mind control. I guess he's telling everybody that. And they're all under control anyway. But that happened in the last issue. So that thing where Astrotrain shot him with that little microchip, well, that was what was called a stroboscopic opticon. And that brainwashed him. And then this was the first wash and roll. And like I said earlier, he took the wash and roll, mass-produced them, and rolled them out to all of the gas stations all over the place. Must have got this work done really quickly. And so the plan is, like I said, everybody who goes through gets hypnotized. They're going to go bring their fuel, and then they're gathering all the fuel for the glory of the Decepticons. Yeah. And so, let's see. Oh, this only happened... what GB was saying, that in most cases the hypnotic effect of each car wash lasted about only one fill-up and siphon. Therefore, after that, it wore off. But now they have a 2.0, and that's guaranteed to keep the customers under Ratbat's control forever. And so all of these brainwashed owners of the car washes are there, and let's see. Yeah, he's going to have Sparkplug go through first. So Sparkplug is going to be able to go through that new Mark II first. And Buster's got to stop him from, that from happening, or he'll be under Ratbat's control forever. And we don't want that. We don't want that at all. So the car wash is operational. He wants Mr. Witwicky to go through, and Buster comes through and stops him. He pulls up his truck right in front of him and stops him. Tells everybody, listen to me. You got to stop this. And then he gets surrounded by all of the people, and they start to chase him. So the only place he can go is through the car wash. So Buster takes his truck and he starts heading through the car wash. And as he goes through the car wash, who's there but Ratbat? Ratbat climbs into the car, smashes the window. Buster grabs a tire iron and swats at Ratbat, and he is fighting Ratbat with the tire iron. He gets out of the car. He's still trying to cover his eyes so he doesn't get hypnotized and anything like that. So Ratbat is yelling at things like, "How wasteful! Conserve your energy! Surrender to the inevitable!" And Buster continues to fight back, and he almost gets to the exit, and suddenly the lights hit him, and he's like, "Well, what's happening to me?" He's been hypnotized, and Ratbat has captured him, brings him, and flies him up away and out of the car wash. He's now brainwashed mostly by Ratbat, but he's not, because he breaks out of that brainwashing and smashes this pipe, puts water in Ratbat's face, and then he... hey, wait a minute. If water was something that they didn't really have in Cybertron, and that was the cure to the Scraplets, why would Ratbat create a car wash that uses water? If he wasn't familiar with that chemical, okay? He wasn't familiar with water. Why would he create something that uses water? I don't get it. I don't get it. And that's one of those things like, well, we never heard of water before. It's a legendary compound, and yet I create a car wash that primarily uses water. Huh. Go figure. And so Buster continues to fight with Ratbat. Jessie comes flying in with her car to knock Ratbat out of the way and let Buster jump on the roof. So there we go. Buster jumps on the roof of the car and they drive away. But all the brainwash guys are trying to kill them, because that's what Ratbat wants them to do. Buster climbs up to the top of the car wash, the wash and roll Mark II, and he throws his tire iron into the large neon sign for the wash and roll, and that sets off a giant explosion of light, and that breaks all these guys out of their hypnotic trance, and they start attacking Ratbat with all sorts of implements that they were going to kill Buster with. And we get to the final conclusion. Ratbat and Laserbeak fly away. GB Blackrock is back to his old self, and he tells Buster and Jessie, "Hey, we'd be pumping gas for the rest of our lives for the Decepticons if it weren't for you guys." And he said, "That's not a career move for anybody, Mr. Blackrock." And Blackrock says, "Starting tomorrow, my people will dismantle all wash and rolls, and he'll refund you the cost to you." Like, and he'll use the profits from the stolen gasoline in these tanks to help the poor of the Pacific Northwest. Now, Jimmy Blackrock actually is a pretty good guy, and I keep seeing that more and more, and I really thought that he was a bad guy. But I think I might be thinking of the guy in the cartoons, and I forget his name, but he was always doing bad things. And so it ends. Sparkplug tells Buster, they're going to have a little less work to do, so you can, spend your time doing what you want to do from now on. And then Jesse and Buster pick up where they left off, and they have a big smooch. We move on next to the issue 32 called Used Autobots, and we'll see what happens in that one. Anyway, this was issue 31, the Car Wash of Doom, the return of Buster. Ratbat comes to Earth and tries to use Earthlings to, pump fuel for the Decepticons. That does not work out very well for him, and well, we'll see what happens in the next issue. Anyway, this is Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Big Damn Kid. You can also find me making videos here every day. I would love it if you would subscribe, and if you would tell your friends, leave a comment, let me know what you think about everything, and hey, thanks for watching.